Going to ask for your consent. It's just me and my screen. I can't see or hear you on this recording. And then go ahead and get cozy and take a seat. So again, we're starting with legs extended, and I'm creating some space between them, a generous amount. So I'm not going wide-legged. We're not really working to stretch the inner or the outer thigh. We're just looking for a nice, strong foundation in the physical body. You're going to press through the heels, flex the toes back towards your heart center. And then feel the sits bones, those bony protrusions underneath each cheek, and the backs of your heels resting down into the earth. Maybe you close your eyes to touch base with that sensation. And then we'll do a little practice that we did on Monday. And I think it's wonderful to repeat these things because the more we resource, the more we practice resourcing, the easier that it gets. So on Monday, we spent time imagining a safe place or a place that feels calm and gentle and wonderful. And this can be a real or imagined place, but some place that when someone's like, escape to your happy place, right? Maybe it's grandma's kitchen. For me, it's an imaginary place in the woods by a stream. Birds are chirping, it's warm, the sun through the leaves. But take a moment just to find your happy, safe place, wherever that is. And maybe you close your eyes as you envision it. Maybe you can see the picture in your mind, maybe not. Maybe you can feel the temperature in the space that you're imagining. What smells are associated with this place? As you take a deep breath in, lifting long through the spine, can you breathe in the scent of your happy place? And with each exhale, let those sits bones and the heels of your feet nestle down into this happy place. Beautiful. And then in resourcing, we do this thing where we're going to tap it in, right? This helps solidify it in our brain, sort of meld it with the hippocampus so that it's more easily accessible. And so for this, two options, we're either going to tap it in on top of the thighs, or we're going to cross our arms across our chest in butterfly pose and tap it in. You can tap it into the arms or you can tap it into the collarbone. But find a tapping that feels good and give yourself permission to change it up, right? Breathing deep into the body, letting those inhales lift you, those exhales ground you, and then find yourself back in your happy place, your safe place, your gentle place. Let your five senses experience this place. What does it sound like? Is the ground firm or soft? Again, feeling the temperature of the space on your skin. Beautiful. We can go ahead and soften the arms down by our sides. Blink your eyes open when you're ready. Resourcing is a powerful practice. On Monday, we went in and we drew a nurturing person, a wise person, and a protector into that safe and happy place. And you're welcome to find that on YouTube. But the more that we practice, the more that we spend time with our mind's eye in those spaces, the more we cultivate the sensation of that space in our body, right? Our nervous system doesn't have to be in our happy place to benefit from all the things that our happy and safe place brings us, right? Our nervous system can take all that in by just our imagination, and the tapping solidifies it even further. So if at any point we move our bodies today and something's not feeling good, or your voice in your head starts to get mean or tear you down, take your mind back to that happy place. Take your mind back to ease. Know that healing is also pleasurable, right? That you are wholly deserving of love, safety, and care during this time. Going back to your happy place whenever you need, let's start some seated cat-cow. First, we're gonna lift our chin, feeling the heart raise. We'll make plenty of space for our belly in between our legs. And then because we're stretching the front line of our body, so from the top of our head all the way down the front of our chest, our belly, we want to stretch through the top of the legs as well. So go ahead and point your toes, getting a good front body stretch with each breath in. You might feel that stretch intensify. Can we reach tall through the chin with each breath in, point firmly through the toes. And then with each exhale, can you melt the shoulders? Let the belly soften, but keep the chin and the toes reaching, reaching, reaching. Maybe you open and close your jaw wide here. Just noticing how it feels. How often do we move our necks and jaws for pleasure? And then on an exhale, we're going to relax the feet, lower our gaze down towards the earth. So we're softening the top of the head down towards the earth. You might even press through the heels of the feet to curl the tailbone up towards the heart center. And then while we were pointing the toes before, we want to now stretch the back body, right? That's what's happening from the tip of our head all the way down to our tailbone, this big stretch of a C shape. So to engage the back body, we're going to flex the toes firmly towards the heart as you do this. Breathing in stillness here for a moment, letting the shoulders soften, letting the back of the neck, your cervical spine relax into this posture. Beautiful. And then let's move with the breath. And inhale, we lift tall, pointing those toes. And exhale, we lower. And let your breaths be big and full if it feels right. Really exploring the full movement of your body through this flow. Maybe you pause at the top of your inhale, holding that breath and reaching through the toes and chin. A nice slow exhale curls the spine, flexes the toes towards the heart. Maybe you pause on that exhale, sinking a little further. Slowing it down with a pause between each inhale and exhale, but only if that feels good. Knowing that when we pause the breath, when we hold our breath on an inhale, we start to stimulate the vagal brake that slows our heart rate. And then when you take that nice slow exhale, the heart rate slows even further. The slowing of the heart rate stimulates the parasympathetic and lets our body know that we can be embodied in this moment. It's safe to be present in our physical forms as we explore them. Beautiful. From here, an inhale will rise up tall, giving the cat-cow a rest. And then we're going to plant our right hand towards the right, and we're simply going to sweep our left hand across our body. So what I'm doing is I'm pressing down into my right arm to help twist my right shoulder back behind me as I reach over towards the right with the left hand. So we're getting this nice mid-body twist. And then on an inhale, open it back up wide. Can we twist open that left finger, those left fingertips reaching towards the wall behind you? And then move with the breath. And exhale to close and twist. And inhale to open wide. Back and forth, slowing the breath down only as much as your body delights in. Sometimes As we cross the midline of the body, which is what we're doing, right? This right arm crossing the midline. And here's the midline as you move with your breath. It literally splits your brain into left and right hemispheres, splits your body into left and right hemispheres. And neuroscience shows us that when we make repetitious, rhythmic movements, right, across the midline of our body, so the right crosses over to the left, we're creating ease in our neural pathways. We're creating even more neural pathways from the amygdala to the frontal lobe, which is going to help us remain in our parasympathetic, right? Remain in rest, digest for longer and longer periods of time. Beautiful. Switch sides when you're ready. And exhale sweeps that right arm across. And hold while you breathe. Get yourself used to this twist. We're twisting from the solar plexus here. So we're splitting our body into a lower half and an upper half. Beautiful. On an inhale, open it up wide as feels good in your personal body. And I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together as I do this, which opens up the heart center. And then move with the breath. Exhale closes this twist. Inhale opens it. Beautiful. Exploring at a pace that feels good to you, inviting to you. Knowing that with each breath, we are healing our relationship with our nervous system, and we're bringing ease to our physical body. We're bringing ease to our busy mind. We're bringing ease to our spirit, y'all. We know that. On an inhale, rise up tall. Beautiful. Let's take a fold to warm up the hips before we move into our standing flow. So from bound angle, because this is just the best for a folded hip opener, we're going to let our wings flap. We are butterflies. Let it start small. I do this a lot. You're welcome to skip this part and just hang out in stillness. But let me tell you, there is something powerful about finding the rhythm in your body and letting the rest of you shake, right? So you might plant your hands on either side. You might, keep them at the heart center. It stimulates digestion. Yes. And then let those wing flaps grow as big as feels good. Can we really let the body shake? Notice how my chest is shaking. You might notice there are parts of your body that feel very stiff, like they don't want to shake. And that's perfectly all right. That is where trauma sits for many of us. So can we imagine our breath creating space in those areas that are stuck and just inviting them to be a part of this messy shake? Healing is messy, but that mess can be so beautiful too. Maybe you flap your wings in your happy place, finding your rhythm. Trauma steals our natural rhythm from us. So it can be an exercise of letting go and finding peace to simply allow the body to shake and wiggle like this. Beautiful. Let the body soften into stillness. On an inhale, find that length through the spine once more. As you exhale, melt the heart and the belly forward. Make plenty of space for the tummy by gently inviting it between the thighs. This keeps the back nice and straight as we surrender the heart center. And maybe you grab the ankles, using the elbows to press those knees further towards the earth. Maybe you just let the arms soften and dangle. Keeping the neck in alignment with the spine here, letting the heart and belly melt first. And slow, right? Each exhale softens you just a little further. We're using the breath to aid our movement and to aid the liberation of our body, right? When we combine breath with movement, we not only treat our body like a fidget spinner and calming the mind, but we find even more freedom in our movement. Beautiful. If you haven't yet, go ahead and lower that forehead down towards the earth. You might notice how this stretch changes. Does it change? Maybe you feel it in the neck or the shoulders a little more. Maybe it stays the same, and we just notice what is. The noticing is the power, not the answer, not what we notice, right? That's where we get caught up. It's not what we notice, it's that we notice. That's what heals us. When you're ready, curl up vertebra by vertebra. The head is the last to rise. The shoulders remain soft. Beautiful. From here, meet me in tabletop just for a moment or two. Oops. Now, if we're protecting our knees, a blanket. If we're protecting our knees a lot, a couch cushion, a bolster, something that feels good. And then maybe you plant your hands beneath your shoulders. Maybe you use blocks and protect those wrists. Listening to your body, letting it speak to you, taking time to notice your needs, to meet them there. And then when you're ready, a full body cat-cow. Inhale, the belly drops low, the head and the tailbone rise skyward. As you exhale, curl the tailbone in, press the mat away, let the head sag towards the earth. Move with your breath if it feels nice. Hang out wherever you like. And then I'm going to immediately invite you to intuitive movement. So cat-cow is some of the most powerful stuff that we can do to open the front and the back line of the body to create mobility and relieve pain. But we can take cat-cow so much further by simply exploring it, right? So here I am making hip circles, right? Exploring my cat-cow, my opening and closing. Maybe you try these circles with me. I just imagine that I'm drawing circles with my tailbone on the ceiling, right? Big circles. Breathing into the belly, curling the spine on each exhale. And then maybe you switch directions with whatever movement you found in your body. In somatics, we call this pendiculation, when we choose to intuitively explore our own shape. Part of pendiculation is screwing it up, right? Getting it wrong, finding something that doesn't feel good or that feels kind of whatever. And then letting it be information that teaches you. Go ahead and curl your toes on the mat and continue your movement for 3 or so more breaths. When we curl the toes, we stretch the low back just a little further. Beautiful. From here, walk the hands towards the body. We're going to land our hands on our hips and then scoot our thumbs towards our low back so that the palms are supporting the low back here. And then keeping the toes curled, we're going to find some lightning pose. So we're going to press down through the knees. And if it doesn't feel good on just the knees, you can uncurl the toes and press down through the tops of the feet as well. You decide. And then keeping this nice long grounding sensation, reach to the top of your head. Here we are nice and long, pressing down, rising up. Take this nice long strength, and we're slowly going to lean our heart center back. Or excuse me, yes, lean our heart center back as we squeeze our shoulder blades. You're going to engage as you lean back. We're not bending at the hips, sitting back. We're pressing the hips gently forward as the heart leans back, engaging the whole front body. And maybe you lean back just a bit. Maybe you lean back a whole heck of a lot. There's no right or wrong place to be, but feel the front body engage. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, those elbows together, letting the heart pump forward. Beautiful. Lifting through the heart center. You might even lift the chin skyward as well. Keeping that length through the spine because we don't want to crunch the low back. Beautiful. When you're ready, release. Rise up tall, step the left leg forward. An inhale of your choice sweeps the arms up to Anjaneyasana Asana. As you exhale, we're going to lean forward and step it forward. Now you might grab blocks and press into them. You might just rise. You might grab this chair in front of you. but come to a standing posture. Beautiful. Finding our Tadasana. Instead of our sits bones, it's the pads of our feet. Can we make space for our belly? Plant the pads of our feet, feeling our Padabandha root lock, right? Feeling the four corners of the feet, that mound behind the big toe in the pad of your foot, the mound behind your pinky toe, and then the inside and the outside of your heel firmly planted. On an inhale, we rise tall through the spine. Exhale, keep the height, melt the shoulders. This is your power stance. This is your mountain pose. This is activation, right? We are strong and powerful here. No wind can knock us over. We are rooted firmly in the earth through our Padabandha root lock, growing and rising towards the sky because nothing can stop us. Anytime you're in line at the grocery store, I want you to think of this posture. Find it in your body and know that even in line, we can practice our yoga and our embodiment. On an inhale, sweep the arms out and up. We're going to interlace the fingers into Temple Mudra or Kali Mudra. So interlacing all the fingers and then leaving the pointer finger out. This is like Kali's sword, the sword of truth. So we inhale, press long through that sword of truth. Exhale, lean towards the left. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lean the opposite direction. And we're just going to notice what's happening in our body as you lean. Can you feel your weight shift more into one foot than the other? Can you take a moment moving with the breath just to notice that sensation? Beautiful. As you rise up, as you inhale, can you imagine pressing down into that foot to rise up nice and strong? Beautiful. One more time to either side. And then on an exhale, release the hands. We're going to interlace them behind our back, or you might make fists and squeeze those elbows together. Either way, our goal here is opening up that heart center. And then from here, shift your weight over into your left leg. We're going to lift that right knee and take a generous step back over our blanket, planting our heel down. So we're not swinging our heel in for warrior. We're leaving our toes pointed towards the front edge of our mat. And we're going to find ourselves in a triangle pose. So both legs straight, but a gentle bend in the knees so we're not hyperextending. Our hips pointed towards the short front end of our mat, squeezing those shoulder blades again, shimmying the tops of the hands down towards the earth, lets the heart reach skyward. And then to find our triangle, we're simply going to slowly bow our heart center down. And as you bow, you're pressing even more firmly into the pad of this front foot. Can you find your Padabandha root lock? And we're only going as low as our legs are inviting us to, as our abs are inviting us to. Maybe that's all the way down here. Maybe that's up here somewhere where it feels good. You explore what feels right. Breathe and be, pressing strong into the pads of your feet. Beautiful. On an inhale, rise up tall, release the hands. From here, we find warrior two. We're going to sweep that heel back in finally. You might notice you want a little more space. Maybe you want a little less. Find what feels good in your body. Bend this front left knee. Sweep the arms out towards the side. Right now, our hips are facing the long edge of our mat, right? Big hip opener here. From warrior two, we're going to sweep our arms up overhead, straighten that front knee. Beautiful. So we're pressing down through the feet, reaching out through those fingertips, and then move with the breath. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, rise up. Peaceful triangle, moving with your own breath. Can we track with that Padabandha root lock firmly through the pads of both feet? Beautiful. 2 more rounds of breath. We'll meet in warrior two. From here, let's find a side angle. We're going to bend that left forearm, plant it atop our thigh. Inhale, sweep that right arm up overhead. Wonderful. We're reaching out through these right fingertips as we're pressing down through that right foot. I guess I'm not mirroring you anymore, and I apologize for that. On an inhale, sweep it all the way up to standing, lengthening those legs out. Exhale, extended side angle. We'll only do this 2 more times. Inhale back up, pressing through that Pada Bandha root lock. Exhale, melt it. One last time, feeling strong through those legs, strong through that Pada Bandha root lock. Beautiful. From here, from your extended side angle, we're going to rotate that right arm down towards blocks. We're going to come up on that back heel, drop that right knee down. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Anjane Asana. Exhale, we're gonna bring that right knee in. Woo! Kick some rocks. That's what I just did. Switch sides. Wonderful. Always touching base with that Pada Bandha root lock. Whichever pads of the foot are in contact with the earth is an opportunity to root and ground down into it. An inhale lifts the heart. Beautiful. And exhale, curls that back toe, steps us forward into our mountain pose, Tadasana. Wonderful. On an exhale, palms towards the heart center. Let's release our hands, interlace them behind our back. We're going to shift our weight over into that opposite leg, this time stepping the opposite leg back. So whichever side you were on last time, we're just going to switch it up this time. Again, planting the pads of both feet down into the earth, and then notice. So for warrior one, your stance might be much shorter than for warrior two. So pay attention, right? Warrior two and warrior one stances feel differently in the body, and we just want to take care of ourselves. Squeezing those shoulder blades back, pressing down into the pads of the feet, keeping those micro bends in the knees. Melt the heart center forward. Nice and slow, keeping those shoulder blades, reaching for one another like you're squeezing a pencil. Beautiful. Pressing strong through that front foot. Rise up tall, release your hands. We're going to come into warrior two. So this back heel sweeps in. I'm no longer facing you. Now you get the good view. Sweeping the arms out towards the side, bend through that front knee. For warrior two, we're reaching out through those fingertips as well. And your drishti, your gaze, is going to follow the fingertips over this bent knee. Beautiful. On an inhale, legs straighten, sweep the arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Find your flow. Beautiful. 3 more times, just like this. Moving at your pace. It's not about doing what I'm doing. It's about doing what your body wants to do and feeling empowered to explore it. On an exhale, hang out in warrior two for a moment. We're going to bend that front elbow, plant it atop that thigh, sweep opposite hand overhead. Pressing down through the foot, out through those fingertips. Find the length through your side body. And then pressing firmly into your Pada Bandha root lock on this bent leg. An inhale sweeps the arms up, straightening that knee. An exhale, side angle. Moving with your breath. We'll do this 3 more times or 0 more times, right? Hang out where feels good. Do what delights your body this morning so that you can walk away from this feeling good, hanging out in your side angle. We're going to rotate this extended arm down towards blocks or the mat, lowering that knee. Anjaneyasana. Beautiful. Beautiful. From here, find a nice closing pose. I'm going to choose a wide-legged child's pose, big toes together, knees out wide, hella wide, right? You might even place your blanket to support the heart or the belly. And then walk the hands out. If this doesn't feel good for the knees, choose your crocodile pose. Crocodile pose is just like this, except for instead of bending the knees, we're extending the legs out behind us, just like this. So from wherever you've chosen, I don't know, crocodile feels delicious, so I'm just gonna find myself there. Take some time to close our practice. Wherever you can rest your head, rest your head. If you can soften your belly, your hips, your thighs. Let that softness trickle down through the tips of your toes, finding ease. Let that softness trickle up from the hips to the heart, softening the shoulders and the upper arms, letting the neck release any effort as the tongue floats in your mouth with ease, your forehead softens. We hang out here for just a few breaths, letting our practice integrate. Maybe we come back to that happy place, that safe space, whatever you want to call it. Maybe you can smell it again. Maybe you can hear it again, feel it again, see it again. Allowing, taste it again, right? Your 5 senses to explore this place. Knowing that you can draw from the energy of this place anytime you want to, just by bringing it up in your mind's eye and transporting yourself there. Knowing that the more often you practice, the easier it becomes. And we create a resource from our happy place. And that resource is there for us when our nervous system activates, when we're feeling intensity, when we want to find embodiment or equilibrium and it feels 1,000 miles away, our happy place can help draw us home. From wherever you are, you might begin to awaken your body. Again, exploring pendiculation, exploring your own intuitive awakening, and seeing if your awakening can feel as delicious as your practice. So often we feel rushed, right? We're like, oh, practice is over. It's time to speed back into life. And our awakening becomes like this speeding back into life. And I just want to encourage you that if you feel that temptation inside of you, send it out with the breath. Let it leave from your body and explore the syrupy slowness of not rushing. As you continue to awaken and stretch, let it take as long as you freaking want. Maybe you decide to end your practice seated. Maybe you're still rolling on the ground. Let yourself be. Take a moment wherever you are to thank yourself for showing up. I know that can feel cheesy and we want to skip this part, but you are the source of this power. You are the source of this healing. And every time that you show up for practice, every time you let it be incredible or incredibly hard or incredibly frustrating or incredibly beautiful, you're healing. You're claiming what's yours. You're discovering. And damn, that is powerful. Know that the light in the dark in me sees the light in the dark in you. And we are the same beautiful, messy humans. All right, I'm going to take us off record. Do, 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 do. Oh.